Welcome to Scorched Earth and a general mid-month reading for the sign of Pisces, Sun, Moon or Ascendant for the 15th to the 30th of June. I hope you're well. I'm using the Triple Goddess for you today. I have to tell you, I structure these slightly differently to the main monthly readings, in so much as we are looking for the lesson. I've found over the years that it's much easier to navigate the energy that you're in if you can work out why you're in it to start with. So to that end, what we will do is pull 3 cards. We'll see what your current energy is at the moment, and then we'll look for the lesson. We'll see why it is that you are in that energy. Sometimes it's trying to teach you something. Other times it's it's paving the way for new things that are coming in until the cards hit the table. We're not going to know which way around it is. And then we'll close out with some advice. So without any more ado, let's have a look. Can I have 3 cards for Pisces? We have, wonderful, the Fool. We have 9 of Wands. And we have the Ace of Cups. Pisces, this is utterly glorious. We have the Page of Wands at the bottom of the deck. Indicative for me of a rising excitement about a new start. And well, we have cards of the new start right here in front of us. It's a precursor to movement rather than movement itself, I feel, this page, with the movement we see in the night. This one is about that kind of frisson where you get really, really excited that you're about to embark on a new adventure. And it does feel like an adventure, Pisces. There's something really quite thrilling about it. Not at all concerning. So we have this new start here, the beginning of a new cycle that you're about to embark on, and this could involve movement, certainly. Like I said, this is like a precursor to movement rather than movement itself, but the Fool is indicating that this movement is about to begin. And it's the start of a new chapter for you, and it's one that sees a very different kind of Pisces to the one that has been showing up in the world for however long you've been an adult. We could be talking 5 years, we could be talking 10 years, we could be talking multiple decades. And there's just so much joy here. It's fantastic. I love it. If we move to the 9 of Wands, right there in the center. 9 of Wands is my card of boundaries. Very good, healthy boundaries. And this is what you have been working with over the last few months. This is what has been rising within you, is this need to form a level of, separation's the wrong word, but discerning your edges and where other people begin, and kind of demarcating that line, so that it is not so easy for you to kind of spread like mist into other people and pick up their emotions and pick up their traumas and their problems and feel like you need to fix them in any way. And also not allowing people into you, that access into the core of you quite so easily. It's not to say that it won't happen, but there's more of a need for people to prove themselves worthy now than there ever has been before. It's been quite the journey you've been on, Pisces, recently. It really has. And we have the Ace of Cups. Yeah, again, the promise of the new. Here we have something that indicates pure potential, and it is emotion. It's your suit. And here it feels like it's referring not just to, the promise of your new start and the adventure that it brings, but a renewal in something in you. And I say renewal because I think it was there at some point, but along the way it got kind of covered with stuff. This feels like your cup runneth over, That didn't go quite as well as I planned. It is, in essence, a completely beautiful energy, Pisces, and I love it for you because it's been hard won. This hasn't just drifted towards you. You've had to put some real effort into achieving this, and it's been challenging. It's been really challenging, but what we see is the growth that's come as a result, because necessarily where we have a Fool, at some point we will have had a world. I'm getting completely blinded by the sun as I'm talking to you here. I'll just put that down. Ooh, that's a little bit better. Burnt my retinas out. And the work that you put in to that completion, to that world energy, was perhaps a little above and beyond what you thought you would ever be able to pull off for yourself, and yet here it is. Certainly, at the beginning of this process, when it probably felt really quite intimidating. Let's have a look at the lesson for Pisces, please. What's the lesson? Thank you. That's wonderful. We've got the Six of Pentacles with the Six of Cups come out together. Then we have the Page of Cups, which, although it doesn't strictly correspond to Pisces, it always has a Piscean feel to me about it. I have one more card for the lesson for Pisces, please. There it is, Pisces. It's the growth. Oh, I've just got goosebumps. So we start off with the Six of Pentacles and the Six of Cups, and I think this is really, really important because we are dealing with the notion of reciprocity here. This is something that you have not experienced that much of, but neither have you really asked for it either. It's not like you've grudgingly given everything that you have to the people that surround you. It's not like that at all. You've given it very willingly, with no expectation of reciprocity. But over time, it's become clear that it's come by way of you endlessly compromising on your own ideals, on your own hopes and dreams and goals and wishes and all of those sorts of things. And it just feels like it's you time now, Pisces. This Six of Cups talks about the past. And there's something here of the balancing of the past against the potential of your new future. It's almost like a gift to yourself. And whilst you may have not begrudged a single second that you gave to other people, it's time for the balance to be redressed. And I feel like you feel this stronger than anything else in the world at the moment. We have the Page of Cups here. It's a really interesting Page of Cups. It's a little more considered. It's a little older and wiser than we usually see the Page of Cups. Maybe a little old before its time. And I think there's something of Pisces in that notion. The Piscean energy is supposed to be the culmination of the lessons learned by the entire zodiac by the time you get around to Pisces. Pisces are old souls. My daughter's a Pisces, so I can absolutely attest to that. But it's all about finding the balance. It's about offsetting all of that wisdom that you've received, your non-attachment to the things that aren't really that important. And the knowing that relationships are the most important thing, but somewhere along the line, and probably that started, it originated in childhood. Somewhere it got muddied, and somewhere it was assumed, not just by other people, but also by you to a degree, that you were not yours, and you were here to give and not to take, not ever to take. And then here we are, because we're at the Strength card. You see that? It's an absolutely beautiful depiction of strength. I really, really adore it. Look at the green there. It's the colour of the heart chakra. You are leading from the heart, but you're leading from the heart in a very mature way. Which is not to say the way that you've been before is immature, because it's absolutely not. But the growth for you, whereas for other signs, right, it's often about opening up and considering other people a little more in the way that they do things. For Pisces, it's entirely the reverse. Like I said, this search for the sense of self has been really difficult. It's been almost an alien concept, but as you have stuck with it, as you have clung to it, and as you have let it evolve and grow, so you have evolved and grown. Because the Strength card is all about empowerment. It's all about emboldening. And you are emboldened, Pisces. You're about ready to take on the world. Or, you know, move away from it a little bit. Like this, some of you are definitely relocating, and it's almost certainly next to water. And I don't mean to, you know, stereotype you all, because, you know, your emblem is mermaids. You must love the water and stuff like that. But the water imagery is really, really strong. We have a lake, an ocean, and a river right here. But it feels like the first step on an adventure that you never thought you would be able to have. That before this last year was really only a daydream. It's funny, I went out for a bike ride with my daughter the other day, the Pisces daughter, and the sun was just starting to set. It was, I don't know, it was about 8-9 o'clock in the evening, and it was coming down in those rays, and we were cycling past fields and cornfields, and it was all very, you know, picture postcard-esque, and she said it was like her favourite Studio Ghibli daydream, and I just thought that was the most beautifully evocative thing. But obviously it was, because it came out of her mouth like it was always going to be like that. It's like what has always been a daydream is now within reach for you to actually live it, and the contentment at the idea. You know, you've gone through all the difficult stuff. You've sloughed off all of the attempts that were made to stop you from doing this. And like I said, I don't think, for the most part, any of these people were awful and dreadful and trying to punish you or anything like that. It's just this habit that Pisces has of attracting people who are broken, who then use you as an emotional crutch, right? You use you as an emotional processing machine, you know. Like I said, it's not done intentionally, it's not done maliciously, but there's something about you that draws these people towards you, and so the last thing that they wanted to do is let you go, and yet off you are going nonetheless. I'm so proud of you, Pisces. This is wonderful. I have some cards of advice for Pisces, please. Yeah, that's just beautiful. We have the Knight of Wands, we have the Seven of Swords, and we have the Three of Wands, and it couldn't be clearer, the meaning here. This is about taking the opportunities as they arise. You know, I think for most of you, you have a plan, and it may not be a particularly, you know, it might not be a plan in the way that perhaps a Capricorn might acknowledge it, but it's good enough for you. And the advice is to remain in the moment, right? The advice is don't close yourself off to opportunities if they pop up, because they're not within your vague plan. But I don't feel like you're going to do that anyway, to be honest. It's about being brave and just getting on your horse and going. It's about taking this time to experience all of those things that you have always wanted to experience. We had the Page of Wands at the bottom of the deck. We're moving to a Knight. The time is very close. We've got the Seven of Swords and the Three of Wands here. Now, the Seven of Swords can sometimes have quite a pejorative meaning, you know, it can sometimes talk about deception and dishonesty. But the flip interpretation of that, because there is no card that is strictly negative or strictly positive and nothing else, is it talks about risk-taking. You know, it talks about you really pushing yourself out of your comfort zone. It talks about, you know, pushing your boundaries and getting out there and taking risks and doing things by yourself. There's also, there's actually a bit of a lone wolf feel about the Seven of Swords often too. When we see it then replicated across to the Three of Wands, there is the movement right there. It's like I don't even really need to tell you this, but the energy is presenting such that it is here for you. Approaching a time that you can grab the bull by the horns and you can do anything that you want. You can open yourself up to any experiences that you wish to have at the moment, because everything is under your direction. And for the first time in your life, you do not feel in some way chained to anyone or anything or any circumstances. This is all about you. You know, some of you may be moving for work, relocating for work. For others of you, there may be a new version of what it is that you have done for work, and this is part of what is pushing you outside of your comfort zone. But Pisces, I'm kind of running out of words just to express how beautiful this is. And whether you're going off on an adventure and you're going traveling, or or you're staying relatively put, and I do feel for a huge number of you, relocation is part of what it is that you're doing here. Or even just because I feel you pulling away from people. And in order for you to do that to the fullest extent that you are able to do it, taking yourself physically out of the presence of people that you have spent time with before is almost a prerequisite. But it's just like, just go be free, Pisces, go live. Because whether you're having these, incredible adventures, or whether you're staying a little closer to home and you're seeking the peace and the quiet and maybe a bit of solitude and maybe, conversations with the animals in the woods, stuff like that, whatever it is, it's your contentment. It is what makes you happy. And that statement in and of itself is not somewhere that I thought you would get this time last year. And here you are, you've done it. It's absolutely beautiful, right? I'm going to leave it there, Pisces, because there's nothing more to say. Know that I love you all very, very much, and I will see you soon.